collecting in great detail. However, when I'm doing a reading and I can really feel and see what spirit is showing me, I really do need to use a lot of words to describe it because it is so intense. There's so much involved in what I need to describe because the spirit world is so different from this world. And sometimes I feel like I could just write a book on one reading because there's so much to describe and there's so much detail. So that said, I mean, there is some talk about religious places tend to be more of the men's club and the readings tend to be more of the girls club, the women's club with the spirituality. And I could see that, but I do think that, a lot of women really love going to church and a lot of men really love to come into the element where they're getting readings or doing readings. So I really wish there were more men in this, but I do notice it's mostly women. And it tends to be more of a woman's intuition that really drives this sort of thing, where we do readings and we have events and, we like to look at our cards and converse and all of that good stuff. And it really bonds women. I've really been bonded to a lot of other readers. I've been bonded to friends and family through readings. I have made new friends through readings. And I've even met their family members on the other side. And that was my first introduction to their families, which is really a beautiful, rare, and unique thing that I feel very blessed to have. So I really do feel like it's good to know that this is kind of the women's club and men are welcome, just like religious places tend to be more the men's club and women are, of course, welcome. And I really think it should go more both ways, two-way street with that. And that I guess it would be how do I describe it? I really do think that demonizing readings and intuition and having medium abilities has been throughout history a way that society has kept women down or quiet or controlled. And I say this because it is basically a woman's spirituality. It has been around for thousands of years. We have documentation of this in the Babylonian times, the Egyptian times. And of course, there were men that also practiced this form of divination then too. And while I am a Christian and I do appreciate Christ consciousness and I use that in all of my readings, I just have to put it out there that this is absolutely a true spiritual talent, gift, and ability that needs to be taken seriously. And people who take advantage of it, they really are going to have that, return energy that they put out, like with the karmic round. And I'm not saying that as revenge tactic. I'm saying that as the teaching tool of the universe and of spirit and of the human spirit, for that matter. And I really do want to just convey how much I believe in this practice, that it is good as long as you have a good reader. And the readings are as good as the reader. So you're going to have the same frequency of reading, really according to what the reader is dialed into. So, if you think of the nervous system in the head like an antenna, you're going to pick up FM signals when you have an FM antenna or frequency, same with AM, okay, or satellite. It just depends upon what you're receiving at the time. And that has to do with what you are really just operating at. What are your thoughts? What are your intentions? Are you being selfish at the time? Are you kind of ruminating on your own stuff, or are you really there to serve people? And that's, I think, are you really in tune with spirit? Are you really in tune with that person's ancestors, or are you really hoping to get something out of it for yourself? These are all things that I think are extremely important to consider when somebody's doing readings, when somebody is sitting down with you. You have to make sure it feels right. If you have a nervous, strange, scared feeling like something's not right, get up and leave. Get up and walk away. That's your own intuition and spirit telling you something's wrong, something needs to give, get out of there, go find somebody who is positive, who has your best intent at heart, who isn't going to try to take you for a ride or isn't going to try to take your money or just, keep trying to sell you a million candles or cleanse your aura or whatever when you didn't ask, or they start to tell you you're cursed or, those are unfortunately some of the problems that people run into. And you know right away if somebody starts trying to tell you that there's something wrong or a curse that you need to get out of there right away. That's really kind of, I don't know how to describe it other than extremely unprofessional, harmful, and selfish, because that's when somebody's putting you in harm's way. These are the people that approach you or even online and say, hey, I have a feeling that you have a curse on you and I need to break it for you. That is some of the worst practice I have ever seen or heard of. And it's extremely unethical. Unfortunately, we don't license readers at this time. We don't really require a licensing procedure for them because it's considered spirituality. So this is where you really have to put your own compass up and go by your own intuition. And you really have to go into taking responsibility for, if you're feeling desperate, try to comfort yourself until you can get a hold of a good, reputable reader. Try not to go to these overnight, these places that are open 24 hours and they'll help you whenever you want to break curses, or, because then if somebody's asking you for payments or coming back and paying, tons of money for silly things like cleansing auras or breaking curses or making candles, you really got to run the other way. I cannot stress this enough, that this is a very bad business practice. And I want to say it's even a theft process that has been alive for ages. And unfortunately, it continues. And it's a form of a hoax, or, kind of like a way of manipulating. So you'll know when a person is reputable. They come across more as a spiritual counselor, and they're very professional. They tend to schedule your readings, or they tend to be more professional in being upfront about the cost, making sure that you know what's involved, making sure that you're comfortable, not bringing up horrible, awful things or trying to diagnose you with mental health issues. Now, only a licensed professional can do that, and it's really just for insurance purposes. The only reason why they have the DSM is because insurance wants you to. So it has to do with billing and covering treatment of care and behavioral health. This reading thing is more of a spiritual thing. And even if you're with a Christian person or a pastor who's doing something for you, it's very important that you be very, very careful about who you give your time, energy, and personal information to, because sometimes these spiritual leaders or counselors are a wolf in sheep's clothing. So it's really important for you to understand that. So I have a caller now on the line, Mary from Alabama. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. Just still praying that I find my soulmate. I haven't found it yet because I want to be remarried again, and I want to have my significant other, and I also want a new car. I want to be able to pay cash for a car in a house, and I just want to be pointed in the right direction. But first of all, I want to find my love life.
Okay, so you're thinking about house, car, and love life. Did I get that right?
Yes, ma'am. I want a new husband because the husband that I had, he ran off. He's been in jail and prison all his life. He never did do nothing for the kids. I want to get my divorce from him, and I also I want God to send me my friend, like, date for a while and then get married.
Yeah, you want to have that long-term marriage and that close relationship.
Yes, ma'am. I want to live that happy life, and I want my new husband or new boyfriend to be able to keep money in my pocket, be able to provide for me. And I wish I could ask you to give me his first name or initial or something so I can know when he approached me.
Yeah, I personally, when I do readings, sometimes I get specific names, and other times that's harder for me as a reader, but I'll do my best, and I'll ask your guides and your ancestors and everybody involved in supporting you spiritually, what they think of that. So the first thing that I'm getting for you with your soulmate is that there is a soulmate that you have coming, but Spirit wants you to really focus on really recovering. Did you have a really bad past relationship or bad relationships?
Yes, and I had bad relationship, and then I messed around and got involved with someone that was already married, and I hope he didn't try to, do nothing to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, is that you have a recovery period, and your guides are really pointing towards you spending time with other women, your friends, your sisters, the ones that will really help lift you up and support you, and make sure they're good friends.
Yes, ma'am. I started going to another church, and I'm talking to a lady there. She's very kind and nice and stuff.
Yeah.
She uplifts me a lot.
And make sure they're not the wolf in the sheep's clothing too, because sometimes people pretend that they're supportive and they pretend that they're really good, to kind of cover who they really are and what their real intentions
Yeah.
are. And unfortunately, we just
Because
have
I have told a lot of people about him, and I think somebody that I had been talking to had been going back to them stuff that I had said.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like there's somebody within your circle who is also interested in him or seeing him. Are your friends local to this man?
No, ma'am. He was living like 30 miles outside of me. But the thing is, he's married, and he's never going to be married because he's married and he has his own family.
Okay, that makes sense. So the main thing that I'm seeing for you is to really surround yourself with women and to grieve the relationship. Basically, just a lot of stuff that's happened in your past. It's still in your heart, and a lot of that needs to be healed. And that just is about talking about it, doing things like getting readings, like you're doing today with me. This is perfect. Asking for support, asking for help. Do you have children? How many children do you have?
I had 6 kids, 3 girls and 3 boys, and three of them is older, and I have an 18-year-old. The other 2 is young. But the thing is about it, I lost my kids in 2010 due to foster care. They got adopted into another family. You know how they do when they get older, they find their parents again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So
I live in a house with one of my sons, though.
okay. So I'm seeing that you have a lot of hurt and a lot of pain and a lot of trauma that needs to be resolved before you're going to get into a relationship with a man who is going to value you. And the reason why is because you're only going to attract men in this state who have low self-confidence themselves. So what we do in relationships is we find somebody that we match. We match them in emotional intelligence, meaning the way that we express ourselves and understand each other emotionally. And then we find a match with somebody who feels the same way about themselves as we do. And so the higher your self-worth and the higher your self-confidence and your healing, the higher your new partner's self-confidence and healing will be to match yours. So, I mean, it just feels like you need some time. You just need some time to heal and to really work on these things that have hurt your heart. And your heart needs to be protected.
If I give myself 6 months, you think that'll be fine?
6 months is a good start. I think that once you start doing this work, you'll realize how much work you have had to do and really start to understand the depth of the things that you have been dealing with and kind of put on the side just to get through your day.
Yes, ma'am. And I also want to see, I'm praying that the guy that I just broke up from, I want him to call me so I could talk to him about some stuff.
I think that he is under surveillance with his wife, and I think that he has to tread very carefully on if he talks to you or anybody else right now.
So, in other words, you're saying that his wife is watching him?
I think she knows what's going on, and this isn't the first time. So he's having to be really careful because she's watching him closely. But I do think he's actually still interested in you.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
So he's not interested in me anymore?
No, I think he is still interested in you, but I think that the point is that you need to not be interested like in him anymore, because that's what we're trying to get you, is like where you're at a self-confidence level of you get to have the best relationship of your life where they're not tied to anybody. They are treating you very well, and that you're the first priority. You're not, in any way inconvenienced.
Yes, ma'am. So he's I'm not interested. You saying he's not interested in me, but I am in him.
I think he is interested in you still, but it would be one of those things where you would just be, it wouldn't be like he'd be committed to you. He would still be committed to his wife, and, he'd just want more than one person. And that's not ideal for you.
Okay. But do you think he'll soon call me and ask to see me or something so we could talk?
I think that it would be a long time if he's going to do that because she's watching him very closely. I don't think he's going to be with her long term. I do think she's planning on leaving him. But the product of that you would
How long would it be though? How long do you think it'll be before she end up leaving him? A year, 2 years, 3 years or something?
It looks to me like it would be about 6 to 8 months that she'd start the process, but it wouldn't be all said and done for a year and a half to 2 years.
So you saying it'll be this year?
It would be this year that she would start the process.
Okay. Wow.
But you're dealing with somebody who is not emotionally available, and I think that it would be good for you, from what your ancestors are telling me. Your ancestors and your spirit guides are saying that it's good for you to wait. It's good for you to wait as long as you can.
Can I wait on before I start dating someone else?
Yeah, just to
wait on him.
No, I wouldn't wait on him. I would wait for someone else, and at least the 6 months. I mean, you said 6 months, and I think that's your intuition getting you ready. But I think at that 6 months, you'll be like, wow, I need more time, when you really dig in and you start to.
So look, say for example, you said she'll start the process on him next year. Do you think she'll be done with him probably next year in July or something?
It looks to me more like October of 2024.
And she'll be done with him.
Yes, but they still will be in contact, and it'll be one of those things where you'll have to be, if you're with him, you'll have to be dealing with the ex and the drama and all of that.
Yeah.
And
do you think he'll contact me again?
I'm kind of seeing that he would contact you. Yes, you will hear from him again.
Okay. Do you think it'll be this year though?
I would give it. Yeah, it would be this year. He's going to figure out a way to get a hold of you.
Okay.
And I know you just want to talk to him, but I would really ask yourself, do you really want to be with somebody who, if you were married to them, they would be doing this?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want someone who's going to do this with you?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And
so it's not time for me to find my new lover yet?
Well, I mean, I would see that happening in about a year and a half to 2 years for you. So you could, at that point, choose this man. I wouldn't recommend it, just from my background in psychology. That wouldn't be my suggestion for you. You, of course, have your own free agency. There will be another man available at the time, but he's going to be more of a family man, and there are going to be some things like that you would prefer, like, maybe him making a little more income and things like that. But he would be, the other guy would be.
You don't see his first name, his initial to his name, or nothing like that? Have I seen the person around me that I'll be with?
I'm seeing
maybe at church or something.
Yeah, I'm seeing a P name, and it looks like Peter. That's the name that I saw.
Peter.
Okay.
And you say the other guy, his name is Kim, y'all, but you say he probably contact me like this year?
He will contact you again.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. How about me having a new car and a new house and money?
Well, look at that. You have to really, what I'm seeing is that, yeah, it'll be better when you're in a relationship, that's kind of an obvious, but remember, it can look up once you're with somebody. It might seem a little overwhelming up until then, but I do think that you could do very well. I think that you're very independent and that you can really sort these things out on your own. So I would just have a lot of confidence in yourself and know that when you're with someone in the future, that your income will go up significantly, because then you'll have two incomes. I would say new car, possibility of that happening. I would say like financing a car. You could do that within 3 to 4 months is what I'm seeing. Shop around. Don't go with the first.
I just got to get the down payment up. I just got to get the down payment up.
Uh-huh. I would kind of search around and find a good place to buy. I only have a couple minutes left, but as for your house, I do think that could happen down the road. I'm looking at the economy taking a dip, and that's the time to go in. And I would say that's about 3 to 4 years would be ideal for you.
Okay.
Where you are in your location.
Yes, ma'am. Is there any kind of way that they allow you to take down my address and you can write me sometime?
You can contact me. I'd be happy to do that. I can give you a summary of your reading, and you can contact me. I don't really have a way of like getting a hold of you, because you just kind of call in anonymously through the line. But if you want to get a hold of me, you can go to AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com. It's at the bottom of my screen. If you see this on Facebook, you can reach me at Anna Olson Intuitive on Facebook. But the best way to get a hold of me is on Instagram. Or emailing me. So if you go to my website, AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com, it's ANNAOLSEN intuitive.com. There'll be a bunch of contact information there. You can just email me at that email address on there, or you could just go into Instagram, which is at Tiny Medium Queendom is my username on there, and you can just message me through there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. But you did say that lady would end up leaving him next year in October, right?
Yeah, and I just, it's totally up to you, but I think there's another guy who's more family oriented who would really be a good match for you with the P name. It looked like P to me.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for calling in. I wish you the best of luck in everything.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so, that was a great reading. I really love her accent, by the way. I really like doing readings like this, where I can kind of mix a little bit of psychology in with the reading from spirit. And I would love to do that for you too. So please contact me if you'd like a reading. I'd love to work with you. And I can do video or phone readings anywhere in the world. I've done them as far as the UK or other countries. I do them all over the United States. I do them everywhere. So give me a call, AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com. And you can also reach me at Tiny Medium Queendom on Instagram. I just hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week on Tuesdays, 1:30 Pacific Standard Time here on A1R Radio. My name again is Anna Olson, and this is my segment, Insights into Consciousness. Have a wonderful week.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for the Mini Medium with Stephanie Cowan. Live from tarotwithsteph.net. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is the Mini Media on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
All right, perfect. Hello, my friends. Happy Wednesday and happy hump day and we are in a solar eclipse today, and also our favorite Mercury retrograde coming here in the next couple of days. So I feel like that for me, I'm a Gemini, and Mercury is ultimately my ruling planet. So when that happens, I tend to have a lot of craziness, and sometimes I feel like for those about 3 weeks or so during the retrograde, I want to hide. But I feel like maybe this one will be a little different. Let's hope so. Mercury retrograde has been known to also cause, technical issues. And boy, I am not a technical guru at all. So I'm praying and I'm manifesting. I'm putting it out into the universe that during these next 3 weeks until May 14th, that all is well in the technical world in my life. So, but I say we roll with the punches. It is what it is, as I say. But I noticed the energy today between our solar eclipse and this retrograde has been, when they say the calm before the storm, that is exactly what I feel is going on. So I'm preparing for craziness, but hoping for just some calmness, I guess, if you will. So, all right. Well, I am going to pull our affirmation for today. My favorite part. I love to see what the universe is wanting us to know and what promise that we are going to make to ourselves this week. So let's see here. We'll start off. And by the way, my number that I have been drawn to today is the number 23. So 23 is the number that I feel someone out there, as I connect with, will connect with it as well. So give me a moment to count my cards out here. And my apologies. I've been trying to think about doing this before I come on air. And I feel like just before I know it, it's time to get on. And then I end up doing it on air. So there you go. The joy of live radio. Okay. All right, my friends. So our affirmation for this week, I'll show you guys you can hop on Facebook or on YouTube and watch the A1R Psychic Radio or the Moonstruck TV, and you'll get to see the beautiful card. This, I can't even tell, to be honest. This butterfly almost looks kind of like a moth, but here is the beautiful butterfly that is on the back of these affirmation cards. So, all right, affirmation for this week is even when things aren't perfect or don't seem to be working out, I choose to trust in life. And I feel like I think I pulled this one not too long ago, which is fine. I feel like even repetitive messages need to be done. But uh, if this isn't perfectly fitting for the fact that we were just talking about Mercury retrograde and things kind of going a little wonky during this time, I feel like this is the universe's way of just saying when things aren't really perfect or they aren't working out so great, just trust in life, trust in the universe, um, trust in yourself ultimately and your decisions, your intuition. Um, I I do. I also am a Reiki practitioner, so when I work with my clients on cleansing their chakras, one of the ones I've noticed that needs a lot of work ultimately is that intuition, which is your third eye or your solar plexus, right at that gut. So I encourage you all when things are a little bit crazy this week, especially starting into the Mercury retrograde, I encourage you take a deep breath and just enjoy and hopefully look at the experience and know that whatever happens is meant to happen for a reason. And whatever that reason is, will lead you to hopefully the next, step or journey or goals or whatever it may be. So I feel like even the tough things that our life have to happen in order for us to see the good, right? All right, beautiful. Okay, well, I am excited to meet my first caller. And this is Linda from, I believe, New Jersey. Hi, Linda.
Hi,
How are you?
Jersey City, right? Did you say Lakewood or Jersey City?
Are you in Jersey City?
Yes, Jersey City.
Oh, Jersey City. Okay. My apologies. Um, so I'm I'm really geographically challenged. So Jersey City, um, I know you're on the East Coast. Can you explain about where you're at, where that is?
It's Hudson County.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Jersey City?
I am not. I am not. I want to go. You're on the East Coast though, correct?
East Coast.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I one of my bucket lists, I guess if you will, one of my hopefully here soon is to go to the East Coast and do events. I'm going to be doing a tour. So I just love to hear what areas and where you're from and kind of get an idea of where I'm going to be heading there. So, and plus, I love listening to the accent. I love listening to the East Coast accent.
I'm right next to
So,
New York City.
okay, okay. I can hear a little bit of your accent too, and I love it. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Yeah, no, you're welcome. All right. How can I help you today, my friend?
I would just like to know about my Aunt Barbara.
Okay. Uh, and is your Aunt Barbara, is she in, I would say the spiritual world is how I reference, or is she still here in the physical world?
No, she's not no more.
She has passed. Okay. All
Yes.
right. Well, first, my condolences to you. And I am sorry for your loss. And this, Aunt, your Aunt Barbara. Okay. Can I ask, what I'm going to do is I'm just, what I do is kind of a bit quiet my mind so that I can focus on any of, we call them clairs, so clairaudient to hear if I'm picking up anything from that gift, or if I start getting visions through claircognizant is what they call. Uh, now, earlier, I was seeing the number 23, so 23. When it comes to you and or your Aunt Barbara, does the number 23 resonate or connect with either of you?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Can I ask how you connect with that number?
It's the day of her birthday.
Oh, well, beautiful. I love it. Perfect. I love it. Well, and when I tap into my mediumship gifts, and I had actually just finished a reading before I came on to do my show, and the veil between us and the other side right now is very thin, and a lot of that has to do with uh, that we're in this solar eclipse right now, and so I feel that your Aunt Barbara giving me that number 23 is her way of just letting us know that she's been here for a minute and wanting to connect, knowing that you and I would end up connecting together. Um, I feel as I'm, connecting with her, um, there is a sense that the two of you, even though I would say she's an aunt, but I feel that you were either closer in age or you were closer than just an aunt and a niece. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And she okay. Yeah, she's also, I feel she's showing me too that okay. Uh there she's shown me there's many questions that are still unanswered when it comes to her passing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And she I she keeps wanting to ask you to try to find closure. Um, that that she hopes that even just this brief connection that she can give you some peace, knowing that she that she is at peace, that she is safe, and she is with God. Um, and she's very adamant that others know that she is in that white light, that she's not stuck. Um, she keeps showing me for you. She says tell her uh, to watch for, pay attention to the tulips, the daffodils, like the very spring flowers. Do you connect with that? Do you understand why she's showing me all those?
No, not really.
Okay. So I would say just be mindful as you go about your life and your future, and um, you'll have those moments of her popping up in your head, or you have a memory, and then she shows me that her connection with you is through these beautiful. I keep seeing spring flowers, even sunflowers, which sunflowers aren't necessarily spring, but just that she's showing me these. And in a sense, I would say giving them to you as her appreciation. Because I really do feel like she says you understood her, you got her. I'm not sure what that means, but I hope you understand that.
Yes.
Uh, uh, and she says that she does say that some of these questions regarding her passing and what led up, they I do see resolution. I do see them being solved or answered. And just to give it some time. Um, I'm not one. I know a lot of mediums connect with their loved ones with jewelry, and I ask that when souls come through, that they try to give me more than just jewelry validation. But she's very specific about. She's showing me, and this is interesting. I keep seeing something to do with like the pinky ring or something of a ring, very dainty though. So I'm not sure if you have something like that or you're aware of that, but she's showing me this is something that I feel should have. So if you don't have that or you're not aware of that, I would just say keep your eyes open for that, okay?
Okay.
But I do feel, I really do feel the sense of what I'm getting from her is very just, very peaceful, very much I feel, but she does show me she has a concern for you. And I feel that concern is just because she wants you to be able to live your life, to move forward, to know that she is watching over you. And I'm telling you, these flowers, she's showing me it again. So just keep that in mind. I really feel you're going to connect in some way. So please watch for those. All right, my friend. I know I have another caller waiting, but can I just I'll tell you really quickly. I just heard her say happy birthday. So someone just had a birthday or has one coming very soon. So
Oh,
I'm not sure who that is, but just please.
My daughter tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic. So please
And my
pass
other
that.
daughter just passed. My other daughter was April 8th, which is her goddaughter.
Perfect. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So please tell her that she says happy birthday, okay?
I will.
Okay. All right, my friend. I hope this gave you just a little bit of comfort and knowing that you're beautiful and is at peace.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Have a beautiful night. Talk to you later.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. All right. I have another caller, and I think this is Karen in Alabama.
Yes.
Hi, Karen.
Hi,
Hello.
Stephanie. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. How can I help you tonight?
I was hoping I could get a reading from you
I would love
in
to.
regards to
You-
my son and my best friend. I have both passed away.
Oh, shoot. I'm so sorry, my friend. I am so
Me
sorry.
too.
Dang, that's why one thing that I love what I do in a sense is try to, um, give some comfort with passings, with our loved ones. And I'll tell you, man, the veil is very thin between us and the other side now, Karen. So we'll see if we can't get a connection with either one of them. Okay. Um, Now my last caller. Oh, go ahead. What was that?
I didn't know if you needed his name or birthday.
No, I do not. I just listen to my intuition and I connect with my mediumship and I just trust everything I get. So I love to have a blank slate, not know anything so that I know whatever we get is genuinely them.
Okay.
So we'll see what I get. Now I do want to ask, do you connect with the number 23 with either of them?
No, not 23. I don't know that one.
Okay, that's okay. That's been my number today. And my last caller, we connected with her aunt, and her aunt's birthday was on the 23rd. So I thought, well, boy, we're getting beautiful connections. So just want to make sure that it wasn't also resonating with you. Now, can you remind me again the two? You said a best friend. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And I just heard a name. I'll get names, and names come through a little bit, kind of, I call them cryptic. They come in bits and pieces. But I heard a two-syllable J, like Judy, or a two-syllable Jason. Does that make
Leanne?
sense? Two-syllable. Who is that?
I said I was trying to think of a name, Leanne.
Who is Leanne?
That was a friend of mine that passed
Okay,
away, and that was in November.
gotcha. Okay, okay. And I'll tell you the feeling I'm getting right now of whoever, and I'm hoping this is someone that is connecting with you. Uh, but the feeling I'm getting is a sense of they're passing very quick, very unexpected. I feel I'm here in the physical world, and then I'm on the other side. So very fast. Do you connect with that?
Yes, I had an elderly friend of mine. She passed away maybe a month ago.
Okay. Okay.
She was
And
an
I feel
older
like,
lady.
gotcha. Okay. Um, and my hips and my back is killing me right now. They're
I'm
hurting. There's
sorry.
something. No. Don't be sorry. This is how they'll connect with me. So there, I feel she's showing me that she struggled with hips. Her hip broke, or she had issues with the hips, or you do, because I'll pick up on you as well. Um, so if that doesn't quite connect, I want you to keep that in mind. I always listen to how my body reacts. And boy, someone had like COPD, lung issues.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she did.
Okay. And okay. Now I feel like oh wow, okay. Uh I just got a very strong father that stepped in. I have a very strong father figure. So this is
My father?
boy, this your dad has passed?
Yes, ma'am. He passed away like 16 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Well, I feel him stepping forward, because I feel that he's a strong man. He's a strong energy, as I call it. And okay. And he's showing me military base. Was he in the military?
Yes, ma'am, he was.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, very proud. Very proud. Um, he's you must have he's showing me that you are to have, it's either a pin or a medal. I can see he's got it on his jacket or something. I can see the jacket and I can see the pin.
I have his Shriner's hat and his pennant.
Perfect. Okay. So no, he's validating that you have that, and he loves that you do have this, and that you keep it to remind you of him, to connect with him.
Yes, ma'am.
He does refer to you as he says that you were quite the Spitfire when you were younger. Were you pretty sassy?
Yes, ma'am. I
Yeah.
still am.
Yep. I love it. And he's saying that's my sassy girl. That's my Spitfire. Um he's he does say that I heard him say, boy, I wish that I would have told her how proud I was of her. He struggled with his feelings. He said, I need her to know that I am proud of her. And he showed his love in his way, in his own way.
Yes, ma'am.
And he also shows me, okay, do you connect with either the state of Virginia or the name Virginia?
No, ma'am. I cannot. That I know my son passed away in Pennsylvania.
Okay,
And I'm in Alabama.
you're in Alabama. Okay. There seems to be a reference or there's some reason why they're showing me I can see the name. So please keep that in mind, okay? That state of Virginia or the name, the name Virginia, because I can see it. But
Maybe you want me to get paperwork from Virginia. I think that's where the military people go. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that could very well be. I always say that when my clients or when I'm doing a reading and you validate what that they're trying to communicate, I get what I call my validation chills, and my whole right side just got goosebumps the minute you said that. So I would definitely look into that as being
I
what he's
will.
showing. Yeah, for sure. Um, uh, and I just I heard Christopher, Chris or Christopher.
Mm,
Boy, that name came through very strong. Um,
no.
okay,
His
that's
last
okay.
name is Cherry.
Okay. No, this is definitely the name Chris or Christopher. So, do you have anyone in your home with you? Is it just you?
It's just me right now. My deceased son is Brandon, and then I have another son that's a commercial underwater diver, and he just
Okay.
left to go to Gibraltar, and his name is Sheldon.
Okay. These are
But
your two boys.
none of their names is Christopher, not even their middle name.
Okay. Okay. No, that's okay. Sometimes I'll connect even with people that are in your home, or after I'm done with my show, I do about 2 hours of free readings on my Facebook page. And a lot of times I'll get souls that come in a little early. So it could be connected to one of my people that hops on today. But I've got about a minute left, Karen, but I want to tell you, you have many loved ones on the other side. I can feel the energy and the love and the protection. Your dad, I feel the reason for Dad coming forward tonight is because he needed to do this, and he knew you did as well. So I hope this gives you some peace and comfort knowing that he's watching you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear from it. And you're on the spot because I was talking to my mother about she's trying to get some more, like the military widows benefits and stuff. and she couldn't sign the paperwork. And I said, well, we might have to call the military thing. I think the office is in Virginia, so maybe.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Psychic Paths with Suzanne Marie. Live from PsychicPaths.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Psychic Paths
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio. I am Suzanne Marie, and I'm with Psychic Paths, and I'm in the middle of moving. So it's a nice rainy day, but it's all empty here, so you can probably hear an echo. But this will be my office, and this will be my house. So I'm very, very happy as it is. And patience is not one of my virtues, but this is one of those things that will make me, I guess, learn some patience. So anyway, I am a clairvoyant, and that means I can see, hear, know spirit messages. And also, I'm a light trance medium, which means that I can speak to past loved ones. I am so glad to be here. It's been quite a while since I've been able to be on the show, so I'm very, very happy today. You can reach me at psychicpaths.com if you would like a personal private reading. I'm available. Please check out my website, and if you like what you see, please email me or call me, but please leave a message. I am in the middle of Minnesota, and I am in St. Cloud, Minnesota. If anyone would want a in-person reading, personal reading in central Minnesota. So hi, everyone, and welcome. And I hope that everyone is doing well. There's a lunar eclipse tonight, but I've been moving, so I'm a little scattered. But I hope that everyone is feeling loved and safe and taken care of. We have Melissa from Arkansas. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay, just moving, and it's a headache.
Yeah.
So what can I help with tonight?
I guess just a general reading, hon. What all do you do?
Okay, let me see what Spirit says. So right away, I think what Spirit is trying to tell me is, um, you feel like either something is stagnant or something is moving too slow. Something's not going on your time. Does that resonate?
Yes, very much.
Okay. Um, Spirit is also saying that you may have others to depend on with things, but they're saying also that you're the leader, that the people that you may be waiting for or having to move when someone else does what they do, you're the leader. You're it. Um, so in that way, you're kind of in charge. And they're telling me that that is your character or that is your personality, that when you say something, people listen, is what they're telling me.
Nice to know.
You've got that talent. You should use it. That's what Spirit wants you to know. That
Okay.
you have an authority with people that maybe you don't know, but you can at least experience it with starting. Um, because they're very much telling me that you are a leader, and sometimes it takes a while for us to learn our own power. And what Spirit is saying is that is one of your talents. Um, I'm trying to see what Spirit is trying to show me. They're telling me that in some situation that you are not able to or not capable of really showing that side of yourself. There seems to be some kind of emotional or verbal, I see an altercation. So I won't go into that, but Spirit very much is telling me that you have that gift, and I hope that you find a way to exercise it and experience it. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm listening.
Okay.
I,
Um, so I think that this moving that you want to do, I think it has a lot to do with the Pluto transiting their Aquarius. Did this just start like maybe 2 months ago? This feeling of being stagnant or stuck?
yes, yes. That's when it, yeah.
It would depend. It would depend on where Pluto and what house in your astrology, your birth chart. But I think it would be one where the status quo is not working for you right now. You want to change. Um, Everything just seems to be like you want to change, and you would like to
Well,
jump to
overdue.
that.
Yes,
You would
overdue.
um so if this is Pluto, which I'm really thinking it is, the Pluto transition, and I'm sure the lunar eclipse isn't helping either. But what I would suggest is that you look and see what are the things that you really want to change, and make a goal of doing that step by step. Maybe you can't run out and move your house or move your city or drop your friends and
Right.
get a new tribe. But there are certain things that can help you feel more satisfied with it if you make a
Right.
goal and if you set down the things that you realistically can do to change things up. Um, move your furniture, um, change a routine. But I think it has a lot to do with the Pluto, and it is a long-lasting Pluto, 17 years.
Oh, good.
So if you move to another country and change your whole life, I wouldn't blame you. But we do
I'm
have to
threatened.
do what's realistic. And
Right.
I think that you can just take it step by step, and what I'm getting from Spirit is you're a really wonderful person, and you're not stagnant, but you may just feel like changes are in order. So if you can
Yeah.
set some goals and set some things that you would like to change, I think that would work. I think that would satisfy the urge to move, to get going. Okay?
Right. All right.
I
Thank
hope
you so much.
I hope that resonates. Do you have any more one quick question?
Um, well, back to the you had said something about an altercation or emotional or verbal something.
Yeah, I did. I seen it. And I
Okay,
just
it's
feel
like with someone or
yeah, with someone, and I don't know if it's in your past. But
okay,
it was relating to being submitted,
okay,
being told to be good or be quiet or not ask for what you need. It had
right,
to do with
right,
something like that. And I just didn't want to start anything I couldn't finish, but I did
right,
see
right.
it.
that gives me a little more understanding.
Be loud, be
All right.
proud, and be you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, you have yourself a good night, and thank you so much
You
for
too.
allowing me to share.
Well, and I thank you for sharing. And you have a good evening too.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Well, everyone, this was a very good show, and I'm so glad I could be here, even though I'm in the middle of a move. And I missed you guys, and I'm just so happy to be back. So, with that, have a good night, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Amazingly accurate, clear answers to any question. You'll love Suzanne Marie readings. Clairvoyant reader and spiritual light trance medium. Tarot is used for spirit confirmation. She's been a spiritual reader for 30 years and would love to be able to bring accurate, clear, visionary readings for those who seek answers. Available online and phone. Call 320-455-2303 or email readingsbysuzanne@gmail.com. Suzanne Marie. Check her event page for specials.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio. Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk with Tammy Petricelli. Live from TammyPetricelli.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, good day to you. It's Tammy Petricelli from Newark, Delaware, little state of Delaware, and I am so happy that it's a beautiful sunny day here. I hope it is a beautiful sunny day or evening wherever you are. So before I take a caller, this is Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk. So I want to talk a little bit about the energy of numbers, okay? So the energy of numbers. We are getting ready, beginning in May, to enter the second quarter of our personal year. So how do we figure out our personal year and what does that mean? So basically, we always go to single digit numbers, 1 through 9, unless we're dealing with 11, 22, and sometimes even a 33. So you want to take your birth month, your birth day, and the current year. So this is 2023, and that's 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 2 and 3 is 5 and 2. So it's a 7-year energetically. But for you personally, your year may change. It changes every year, and it may be different than, of course, the universal year. So my birthday is January 20th. So that's a 1 and a 2. So we're adding 3 to 7. That's 10. We take away the 0 because we go down to one number, and this is a 1 year for me. What does that mean for me? It is a manifestation year, okay? This is a year for me to put into effect, get the wheels rolling on what I want to manifest in my life at this time of my life. So what you can do is figure out what year this is for you, and then you can do a little research to find out how that affects you. So you want to kind of really work on, for the next 3 quarters, whatever year this is for you, whether it's a difficult 5 or 6 year that you need to work through some things, if it's a 9 year where you need to finish some things, to get ready. So last year was my 9 year. So what happens is that 4th quarter, you're supposed to set yourself up for the incoming year. And I did that before I even realized I was in a 9 year. Okay, so I hope that gives you a little bit of a leeway into a little project for you this week, looking at what the energy of the numbers in the universe have in store for you for the rest of the year. So I understand that we have Anissa, and she is in, I believe, South Carolina. Hi, Anissa.
That's
are you
correct.
with me? Hi, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fine. Anissa, how can I be of service to you today? Do you have a question for me, or would you like me to connect with a loved one on the other side?
I think connect with a loved one.
Could I have the name and the relationship, please?
Eunice, my grandmother.
I feel that I do have a woman coming in. This woman lets me know that in her personality that she was very traditional in how she lived her life, but her mind was progressive. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Because she makes me feel like, although she did traditional woman roles, she was a good mother, grandmother, daughter, sister, whatever, that her mind, should she be born a few decades later, would have really worked for her, because I feel like she did have a progressive thought process. She also makes me feel that she was a soft-spoken woman with her way she spoke and with her words, but that she was, she may have been soft-spoken, but it was kind of like speak softly and carry a big stick. Do you understand that? Where she didn't have to yell or be loud or obstinate in getting her thought across. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So is this Eunice, please? This is definitely your grandmother that we have?
Yes, it sounds like her, yes.
Okay, perfect. So she also tells me that she spent many years single. Do you understand that? So either widowed or estranged. Do you understand that?
No.
It's okay if she wasn't. Okay. So, there may be someone else coming in. I want to address Eunice. Oh, no, she corrects me and said that she passed first. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. She also makes me feel that she did live into a long life. She did not pass young. She also grabs her chest, and I take that to interpret that there were chest, lung, or heart issues for her. Do you understand that?
Maybe. We don't really know. She was just older and passed away in her sleep.
So they would normally just say that it was natural causes. Okay.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Because by grabbing her chest, it may be that her heart stopped. Her heart stopped. She just shows me, she just grabs the chest. So she may have actually not completely passed in the sleep. She makes me feel that there was a point where she woke up and knew that this was transition time, but wants you to know that it was peaceful. Okay.
Okay.
Would you understand, Eunice, either didn't drive or not liking to drive, or drove?
Yes.
Either. You understand that? Okay, thank you. Because she shows me not wanting to get behind the wheel. Just her way of a little bit of confirmation, technical difficulties here in the studio. Some confirmation to make sure that we do have her. She tells me to tell you and your sisters. You have 2 sisters, please?
No.
Does she have 3 granddaughters?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I interpreted it as sisters. She's talking to the 3 granddaughters, that she sends so much love and that she's watching, but she thanks you for coming in and asking for her, because she realizes, she's showing me flowers, that there is reason for celebration. I say celebration. So whether that's her birthday, anniversary, or a transition date is a celebration to them. So would you understand that date, anniversary of one of those dates, is coming up, please, or just happened?
Yes.
Thank you. So she's aware. She's also aware. Would she have always carried a hanky, please?
Yes.
And would she be the one to engrave it, or did she have a special one that had engravings?
We actually had one engraved when she died with all her information on it. Everyone in the family has one.
Beautiful. Well, that just gave me chills, because she shows me that handkerchief. And I thought engraving was the wrong word, but you corrected me that it was the right word. Mm-hmm. I need to listen to spirit more than myself. She is aware of that. They do attend their own funerals and their own services. And she thanks you for that, because that was so special. She said it was a special part of her life, and now she knows that everyone has something special from her life, and she really, really thanks you for whomever planned that. Was that your mother that planned that, please?
No, my aunt.
Your aunt, so her other daughter. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, spirit is never wrong. Interpretation can be. I just see that it was her daughter.
Right.
She's also wants me to tell you that she's very proud of you. Would you understand just you either completed a certification. I don't know if it's just now did it, but I don't know if you have a college degree or a business certification, but there's a congratulations that she wants to extend to you, and it has to do with either career or education.
Okay, yes.
Was that recent?
Kind of, yes.
Okay,
Less
so
than a year.
since her passing?
Yes.
Then that makes sense. Okay. This is her way of letting you know that she did not miss it. You may have felt she missed it, but she was there. And you do feel her around you, don't you?
At times I do, yes.
Yes, you do. And does she make her presence known? Do you recognize that she is making her presence known with a bird?
Yes, all the time in my yard.
Okay, thank you. And you
I get confused. I have lost a lot of loved ones, but I never know who, but there's always red birds in my yard.
Well, she is telling me that it may be more than her. They may be all coming, but that she definitely comes through to let you know that she is with you with the idea of the bird. And someone had the bird in life in the family, a pet bird?
No, not that I'm aware of.
I see a bird in a cage, so I'm not sure where we're going with that, but she just sends so much love and says that she's always with you. So Anissa, thank you so much for calling in, and I hope that made sense to you and that you felt the love of your grandmother Eunice with you, okay? All right. Thank everyone for coming in. I'm going to pick a quick card for the group for watching. Hello from heaven. Isn't that what we're about? So I'm just going to hold that up so that when you pause it, maybe you can read it. And hello from heaven. And I will see you next week, same place, same station, same time. Energy Healing and Spirit Talk with Tammy Petrocelli. Mwah. Thank you guys. Namaste.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for New York City Celebrity Psychic with Perry Lyons. Perry Lyons. Live from PerryLyonsBrilliance.wixsite.com/Perry Lyons.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is New York City Celebrity Psychic
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, my cherished ducklings. Welcome to Perry Lyons, New York City's Celebrity Psychic. That's me. I mean, it could also be you, since we're all one. But in this case, it happens to be me. And I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad I'm anywhere. So it's all good. We're experiencing a solar eclipse. I mean, it's night where I am, but we're still experiencing a solar eclipse in Aries, which is, if you want to look at your chart, any part of it that has Aries lit up is going to be really, this gives us, my friend Elizabeth Grace, the genius astrologer, likens any kind of eclipse to, do you remember the children's book, Make Way for Ducklings? By the way, I got my nails done for you guys. How cool is this? Oh, and I also got myself an engagement ring for me. I'm marrying me because I like me. I've known me a long time and I have a lot in common. Anyway, dumb joke. So my friend Elizabeth Grace talks about solar eclipses or eclipses at all like this. She says it's like the cop in the Make Way for Ducklings book, which is a true story. A traffic cop in Boston stopped traffic. Stop in the name of love. Stop traffic, the busiest street in Boston, to let a mama duck and her 9 little ducklings cross the street slowly. And because he was so great and it was such a lovely thing to do, there's a statue of him and the ducklings in a park I completely forget the name of now in Boston. So just stop anybody in Boston and say, where's the park I completely forget the name of? And they'll probably just laugh. But where was I? Oh, so an eclipse is a little like that. It's, I mean, like a cop and ducklings. In this way, I will explain. You will enjoy it. It's a way of sort of holding everything up so you can kind of take a deep breath, kind of get yourself in order, get centered. And it's a time when you're a little out of the flow of everyday whoomp, 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 whoomp. Oh, you know what I mean by that. And you can just stop and take a deep breath and get ready for all the gifts that the eclipse is going to give you. Isn't that nice? I think it's nice. I love Elizabeth Grace. She's awesome. Okay. So one of my friends who watches, you're all my friends. So a friend I haven't met yet who watches the show wrote in and said, why don't you ever talk about yourself? I'm like, are you kidding? That's all I do. But apparently, no, I don't. So she said she wanted to know a little about my background and why my dress is falling off. Okay, shouldn't say that, but sadly, not as many people as they used to want to know why my dress is falling off, or ask it to fall off, but that's a different story. Oh, by the way, I'm not wearing a lick of makeup today because I had an allergic reaction to something and had to rub my entire face with baby oil. So what you see is what you get. I also gained 30 pounds over the last 4 months, which I had such a good time doing. And now I appeal to all different cultures. So whenever somebody says like, oh, gaining weight is bad, tell them to put a sock in it. I had such a good time gaining weight. Anyway, I grew up in a theater and acting family. My grandfather was a Broadway playwright and wrote the movie in which Jimmy Cagney, if you're old enough to know who Jimmy Cagney was, said the famous line, "You dirty rat." And my aunt and uncle and mom were all child actors and actors in Broadway. I grew up acting and singing. I mean, not all the time. That would be kind of tiresome. I was a professional singer for 20 years. I was a model in my teens and 20s. Ready? See? Very convincing. But I was with a very good agency. What else can I tell you? My dad was Jewish and my mom was from a very old American family. Very, like, I'm not kidding, 24 ancestors on the Mayflower, which means either that I'm very well bred or very inbred. Take your pick. I have 2 parakeets who I love. I have been married. I was married a long time. I have been engaged a bunch. I'm currently single because I'm dating me, C ring. But, I'm open to suggestion. If you want to fix me up with somebody incredibly attractive and kind and generous, feel free. I didn't. Oh, wait, this is my Tinder profile? Hold on. And I live in Brooklyn and in Annapolis, Maryland, because I'm fixing up my late mom's house. But I'm a Brooklyn girl, and I'm a 10th generation New Yorker, which my family got here in 1832, and we stuck around because not doing anything interesting, just too lazy to leave, honestly. Oh, you want to go to New Jersey? Nah. And I don't know. That's it. I love singing. I write songs. I've sung duets with Moby on the Songs for Tibet 2 album. I've sung with Courtney Love. I've written songs with lots of cool people. And I'm friends with a lot of celebrities, but I can't tell you who, because that's how you keep celebrity friends, is you don't talk about them or ask them for money or ask them for favors or pretty much do anything except, I don't know. And that's it. Oh, and a lot of people ask how I first found out I was psychic. My mom was psychic. In fact, her great-great-grandfather, great-great-great-great, nobody's that great, was a judge at the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts. His name was Cotton Mather, and I think he was bitter because, honestly, who wants their first name to be Cotton? Like in his brothers, Polyester and Wool Blend. That's a joke, but his name was Cotton. But so that doesn't make sense that, like, having a judge at the Salem witch trials would mean I'm psychic, but I think he was pretty psychic because he wrote a book called Wonders of the Invisible World, in which he talks about how all psychics are bad and witches need to be hung. And I think he was a self-hating psychic. My mother was very psychic, so I grew up thinking that everybody could see stuff that other people couldn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying. And the one thing, can I just tell you, as a teenager, you do not want a psychic mother. No, 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 no. But I had one. Mom and I used to see the same ghosts in the house. But the first time I really knew that I had something other people didn't was probably when I was a very young bartender in New York City. And, well, this was not a psychic thing per se, but I went downstairs to get something, and I came back up, and all the chairs that had been like in front of the stage, it was a nightclub with a stage, were all piled on the stage in a pyramid. I'd only been gone for 30 seconds. And that's when I thought, strange things do tend to happen about me, around me, to me, with me. Also, I kept getting fired from jobs because I would say things like, oh, welcome to the store. This would look great on you. It must be really interesting in New York now that you moved from Cambridge, Massachusetts 3 months ago. And how was your vacation in Costa Rica? And they'd be like, how did you know I was from Cambridge? How did you know I just got back from Costa Rica? This one woman who I said this to got really mad. I tried to distract it. She was carrying a little chihuahua. This is back when everybody was carrying small dogs like they were like purses or hand grenades. And I said, that's a great dog, trying to distract her because she was getting mad. I said, he looks like a Gemini. Is he a Gemini? And she said, his name is Gemini, and I'm getting you fired. Anyway, so it's been a mixed blessing. You especially don't want to be psychic when you're in relationships, at least with men who have a tendency to look around at other people sometimes, and they don't want to know that you know that. That might have just been inadvertently more than I meant to say. Okay, now I'm taking callers. We're not doing the tarot weather this week because I am at a friend's house unexpectedly in New York City, and I don't have my tarot cards. I apologize. If you want to tune in next week, I will do an extra special tarot reading for the week. Forgive me. And now I'm going to take my first caller. Who is it, Mr. Producer? Oh, what a great name, Regan. Regan is the name of the girl in The
Hi, how are you?
Exorcist. Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank
The
you.
guy
Good, thank you.
Do you get a lot of Exorcist jokes?
No, I didn't even know that.
I didn't even know
Oh,
that.
Regan was the name of the girl in The Exorcist. Are you sorry? I probably should have told you that. But yeah.
I haven't actually seen the movie. I'm not a big horror fan, but I've been my whole life Ronald Reagan. That's what I always got called.
You know, my grandfather wrote a movie of Ronald. He wrote his first movie. I asked him once about Ronald Reagan. He said, honey, he was the dumbest man I have ever met. Anyway.
That'd be like me.
No, you're smart. I can tell because you live in Australia and I love Australia. I'm going to ask you your birthday, but first I'm going to ask, where in the Gold Coast do you live?
So I'm in Carrara in the Gold Coast.
Oh, that's nice. I lived in Sydney for a while. It was great. And
yeah,
darling, it hurts to see you in Darlinghurst. Australians are awesome. And everything in Australia is 13% bigger, more colorful, and weirder than it is in the States. I want to move back. Anyway, so my darling, and I don't mean you. That sounded wrong.
No,
you're 13% bigger, more weirder, and colorful than. Okay, so my darling.
Oh, we are very eccentric. We're eccentric.
Oh, it's so great. It is so great. Can I just tell you? Okay, so what was I going to say? Oh, yes, I like to connect people through their birthdays. So tell me when your birthday is. You have my full attention. And
so my birthday?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dawn. My birthday is the 29th of January.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. That's a very unusual birthday. I don't think I've ever met anybody with that birthday. Yeah, I think the actress Heather Graham has that birthday. And maybe the writer Norman
Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres are both those birthdays as well. And I think Michael Jackson wasn't, was he?
I know, Michael Jackson's a Virgo. But I know I'm not supposed to love him, but I do. I recently got the entire staff of the Brooklyn Department of Motor Vehicles dancing with me to Billie Jean. It might be my proudest achievement. Okay, January 29th, I love Aquariuses. Seriously. Okay, how can I help you, my angel? What's on your mind?
I just like it. Either a general reading or a medium reading today. Just what's ahead, basically, for us.
It feels like, well, here's the problem with you is you can do anything. Anything you decide you want to do, when you do it, you're really effing good at it. And I'm not saying that to be nice. It's true though, right? It's a little annoying, frankly.
Yeah. I'm very self-taught. I self-taught. I can't be taught anything. I'm very pig-headed and do it myself.
Oh my,
so
I'm the same way. I'm so happy to hear you say that because I really like you, and I thought that was like a bad thing about me. But now that I know you do it too, I'm all happy.
I can't be a teacher because no one knows how I can't teach people how I learn things.
Well, you're an Aquarius. You guys aren't from this planet. Repeat after me. I am not from this planet. The standards here do not apply to me. I am a genius. Don't ask questions. Just give me food and money. Okay. It's true, though. That's Aquariuses. You guys are my favorite kind of crazy. And you're very idealistic.
Oh, that's funny because my brother and sister are the same. We're all Aquariuses, all in the same week.
Your parents have 3 Aquarius children?
Yep, all in the same week. One's Australia Day and one's the 22nd. So we're all in the same week, 22, 26, and 29.
Oh, my God. There has to be a special Hallmark sympathy card I can send to your parents. In deepest sympathy. What were you thinking? Don't have 3 Aquarius children. It makes herding cats sing E. Wow. Well, I'm very, very impressed with you.
The Easter Bunny got very bunny-like during that time. Easter.
I love that you're saying that in the year of the rabbit too. Awesome.
Yeah.
People ask me like, what are people born in the year of the rabbit like? I'm like, well, what are they like? Well, I can tell you a thing they like. What are rabbits famous for? And they're like, eating carrots. I'm like, no. Anyway.
Rooting. No, I'm the rooster. I'm the cock. I'm the year of the cock.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Roosters, I'm a tiger. Roosters and tigers get along great. And an Aquarius cock. Okay, well, you've never thought a thought that you didn't say out loud. You not only have no filter, you actively disable other people's filters. I don't think people can fit. It's true though, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Strangers end up spending an hour and a half with me talking, and they're talking stuff they'd never talked before.
Yes. So you would make a really good therapist if you want to dream
That's what
big.
everyone tells me.
Yeah. That's because I think that the reason you don't want to be a therapist is because there's a lot of rules, and you're actually better at it just doing what you do and being who you are. So just do it for fun because you're going to anyway. You're really creative right now. Did you just start like churning out paintings or songs or something? Because there's a really creative vibe. And you're really good with people. What?
I just talk a lot.
You talk a lot?
I'm good with words. I'm good with my words, people say. When I'm counseling people or giving them advice, I'm very good with my words.
Yeah. Well, you have you know what you'd be really good at? You have this is what I was getting. It's not making things. You have a performing thing. You've got like a one-woman show or stand-up or something in you that you have not really explored. Huh?
Yeah, I haven't embraced or anything. I'm very much.
Embraced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm funny.
Oh, you're very funny. You're very funny. And the thing is, here's the thing. You're funny even when you don't know you're funny because you tell the truth all the time. As Mark Twain said, if you want to be lonely, tell the truth. But you're not lonely. You have 1 million friends. And they all sort of feel like acquaintances to you, but each of your friends think they're your best friend in the entire world. Don't tell them, is my advice.
I feel the other way. I feel the other way at times.
Yeah. You're weird.
I have strangers that I meet that I'll take anyone on as they're like my best friend. I'll treat everyone as my best friend would be treated.
Yeah. I think they're two sides of the same coin. It's interesting because you're extremely personal and impersonal at the same time. And you don't have any class consciousness in you. You will befriend the janitor and the queen on exactly the same level. I might be a little late to befriend the queen, but you know what I mean. God bless her.
Yep.
But you don't have a shred of snobbery. The other thing I see you being very good at, and this is coming from one of my guides who honestly I don't usually listen to because we used to date before he died and he can be a little annoying, especially when there's a pretty girl involved like you. But Robin, I'm listening to you. Robin says you'd be a very, very good, like not a nightclub promoter because that's kind of sleazy, but you're very good, be very good at like booking events. It's not exactly that. Something to do with managing a lot of people in a kind of cultural or music or creative context. Because people will just do what you say. I'll do what you say. I'm coming to Australia. But you have some of the talents you have, you're so used to that you don't recognize them. So I'm going to give you an assignment. Take all of the things that you're good at, distance yourself a little because you're good at being objective. Take like, I'm being conceited out of it because that's just BS. Not on your part, just on the world's part about women. We're taught to doubt ourselves and think anytime we brag about ourselves, we're being conceited. So F that.
Yes.
But you have a lot of power and I think you're starting to wake up to a kind of ambition that you didn't know you had. And I think you're a little embarrassed about it. Don't be. We need you. We need you. So here's what I'd say. And I don't know what gender you go after, but you have a couple of people on, what's that?
Female.
Cool. You have a couple of relationships on the back burner. There's somebody coming into your life in May who's like, hello, nurse. So I wouldn't make any huge commitments between now and then. If you're already in a committed relationship, still keep your options open. Yeah, I get that. That's what I just got. But I think somebody might come in late May, like around the 25th, who's going to knock you off your pins. So just don't say I didn't warn you. And This was a little scattershot because I wandered all around Brooklyn today and had glasses of wine all over the place. So, did I say that outside of my head? I did, didn't I? Damn it. So here's what I'm getting. You'd be very good, like either managing a theatrical venue or some sort of club venue, either getting people in or booking. Oh, I've got Ileana in Connecticut holding, so I'm going to wrap this up fast. Hi, Ileana. I have a goddaughter named Ileana. It's a great name. Hold on 1 minute, Ileana, because I absolutely love the person I'm talking to too. So, I would do a couple of open mics and do some stand-up, but don't try to do stand-up the way other people do stand-up. Do stand-up completely as yourself. Completely. Just get up there and tell the truth. People will fall over. Just tell the truth. You're incredibly funny and people really like you. So that would be my first thing. Just do an open mic or two. Or duct tape your friends to chairs and make them listen. Not that I do that. But it works. Somebody's going to come along in May who is going to knock your socks off. You don't have to act on it, but I'm just warning you. Look at the area in your chart where Aries is and get ready for a big bump in that area. Bump! And I don't know, you got a lot of really good changes coming up. I'm sorry I'm not more specific today, but I guess that's pretty specific. And I told you about yourself pretty accurately. So I feel good about this. And I really like you.
No,
so
great.
Okay,
Thank
call
you.
back sometime.
I like
My
you
pleasure.
Too.
All right, save me a
I'd
seat.
love
I'm
to go
coming to
back
visit.
sometime.
All right, thank you, love.
Thanks.
Bye. Hey, Ileana, thank you for being so patient. You're an angel. What's your birthday?
My birthday?
Yeah, I like to connect to people through their birthdays. You don't have to tell me the year. Don't ask, don't tell.
May 16th.
Oh, that's my mom's birthday. Oh, I already adore you. Okay, and how can I help you, my angel? It's a great day. That's so funny because I was talking to, I went to Trader Joe's today and I was talking to the nice guy behind the cash, checking me out, and he was talking about gardening, and I was like, is your birthday May 16th? Because my mother was a gardener. And he's like, yeah, so you're my second May 16th today. That's wonderful. It's a very good omen. You're in for a lucky year. So how can I help?
Well,
You have a relationship question.
Yes.
I can feel that little relationship question bubbling around in your cranium. Bubble, 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 bubble. But help me out here. How can I help you? Shall I just jump in and tell you what you need to know?
Sure.
Okay.
That sounds better.
What's that?
I said, that sounds a lot better.
No problem. I know it's hard to be put on the spot. It's like when somebody asks you, what's your favorite movie? And you suddenly can't remember any movie you've ever seen in your entire life ever. Okay. You have a lot of very good friendships. You're very good at friendship. It feels, I was going to jump into relationships, but the first thing that's coming up is it feels like you're having a falling out or a difficult time with a very close friend right now. Is that true? I'll give you $10 if you say it is. Okay. I was just kidding. That's hard. You're going to have to, I know that you get tired of always being the bigger person, like always like rising above and being kinder than you need to be. But on the other hand, nobody ever regretted being kinder than they needed to be. And this person is jealous of you. And I think A, you're quite attractive, and B, they come from a place of scarcity, right? They don't think there's enough love or enough talent or enough beauty to go around. When of course everything is ours in huge abundance, so scarcity is just ridiculous. But this person, they're being difficult, and you might have to be the first person to reach out. You're not going to have to do this for the rest of your life, and I know it kind of sucks that I'm saying this, but I think the friendship's worth keeping. Unless this person has been a real witch with a B, in which case, forget everything I just said. But I think she's coming from a place, or he, or they, or llamas. But enough about my personal life. I think they're coming from a place of pain. And I think that they think in some ways you're better than they are. You'd be amazed how much people can project onto you without you knowing. So does that answer that? Because we're going to move on. Going to answer something else. Okay,
That
good.
does answer that.
Your relationship stuff. You're either in a relationship. I was going to say you're either in a relationship or you're not. How psychic of me. Sorry. You're either tall or short. Have I got that right? Sorry. Maybe that second glass of wine was a mistake. What I meant was that your relationship energy is very even. You don't have that like kind of energy that people have when they're either in love with somebody and that they're not sure how the other person feels about them, or they're in love with somebody and the other person doesn't give a flying fig. So either you're very confident and secure, which you could be because you've got a great birthday, or you're currently in a solid relationship. Which is it?
Probably both.
Oh, awesome. So you're in a relationship. That's what I got. All right. This one seems like it's lasting to me. And I love that you said both. I love it when women own their power. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For all us women who are listening today, instead of complaining about stuff this week, I want you to brag. So, because we're used to bonding with each other, like complaining, like we'll commiserate over our shared miseries. I don't want any of us to do that this week. I want us to brag. So I brag that I get the best people on my show. So, yeah, your relationship is good. If you're not married, you're going to get married. What is that? Are you there? What?
Yes, I'm married.
Oh, well, you know what? Sometimes the psychic stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. You're in the right relation. What I'm trying to say here at great lengths is you're in the right relationship. It's going to last a really long time. And you have your occasional bumps, but it feels really nice and smooth to me. Okay, work. Let's talk about your work.
Okay.
Honestly, work is kind of fine too. The only thing that's really coming up for me is that friendship thing. And that's a bump because you take your friendships very seriously. And I love you for that. Work is fine. You're going to get like a 20% raise in bum. I think you just got bumped up in March a bit. So I think you're going to stay at the place. Yeah, so I think you're going to stay at the place you're working, but since you're doing the work of 3 people and only getting paid for 1, and I know that's true. I think October is when you're going to get kicked upstairs. You're going to get both. You're not going to get promoted so much that it's like, oh, I have to do this, but you're going to get promoted enough that you have a nicer title and probably 20% raise would be my guess. People really like you at work and you're doing a great job. I'm sorry. You're a Taurus. You guys are like really stable and kind. I'm sorry. That's the end of our show, but I'm really glad you called. And we've 30 seconds. Anything you want to ask really quickly? I'll just tell you. You have 2 kids? Well, I'm just going to say you do because our show's coming to an end. But I like both of your kids. There's a chance that there's a 3rd one coming next year. So let me know if that happens because I think that's that. All right. I'm Perry Lyons, New York City Celebrity Psychic. Come back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. I love you. Mwah. That color looks great on you. Bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Soul to Soul with Medium Kelly Kristen. Live from MediumKellyKristen.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Soul to Soul
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Soul to Soul. I am your host, Medium Kelly Kristen, and as always, it's amazing to be here with you tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I feel like I have so much I want to tell you, but I want to get it all in before we take our caller. First thing, if you join my Facebook page at Medium Kelly Kristen, I am doing a giveaway for a free reading. It'll be a 30-minute reading, and it'll be your choice, psychic or mediumship. But the kicker is you have to join by Friday. So sorry about that. It's kind of short notice, but join tonight, join tomorrow. I'll put your name in a drawing. I can tell who just joined, and off we go. So that's one thing. Another thing is I need your help with something. You know how I'm always talking about the weather. Well, I'm going to actually Minnesota soon, specifically Rochester, and I'm sure that we have callers on here tonight from Minnesota. But here's the thing. It's, I think, 80 degrees there today, and then the day that we're going, it's snowing. So I have no idea what to pack, what to bring. And remember, I'm in California, right? So we're like kind of the desert here. So I know it's going to be kind of cold. But if you guys message me, I would love that. You can do that on my Facebook page, on my website, on the A1R Psychic Radio Facebook page, wherever you can find me. That would be amazing. And also, if you have any suggestions for where to eat, I never pass up a meal. I would love that. And if you're putting, just one thing, if you're putting things in the comment right now, just so you know, I can't see that right now, but I will look after the show. That's one thing that's really hard for me because I'm a teacher by profession. So we're always taught to, look at the feedback from our students, are they understanding the material? And this is so hard for me because I feel like I'm always just talking to myself. Anyway, that's where you can find me. I would love any help on the weather, what to bring, and maybe things to do, places to eat. Another thing I want to talk about is my class coming up. I did talk about it a couple weeks ago. It's going to start in May, and it's for everybody and anybody. I know there are a lot of you that come on and you talk about you're kind of just, going through your spiritual awakening. You're interested in this. To take my class, you don't have to be or want to be a psychic medium. It just, if you have an interest. And this one is going to be on psychic development on the clairs. So you can find that on Eventbrite. Under my name, Medium Kelly Kristen, Soul to Soul, Psychic Development, the clairs, or on my webpage. That's probably easier. But here's the thing. I'm going to give you a discount code right now for that. So it's Soul 23. So SOUL 23. And I really hope you'll check it out, and I would love to have you join me. So I hope I didn't take up too much time because I know we have a caller. Hello, Jade. Is it Jade?
Yes, I speak.
Hi. And you're from Australia?
Yeah, I'm from Australia.
Oh, beautiful. How are you tonight? Or is it the morning there now?
It's morning here,
Yeah.
but I'm good, thank you.
Oh, good. Very good. What kind of reading would you like? Do you have a question for me? What were you thinking?
I honestly don't know. If you have anything that sort of just comes to mind, the only thing I sort of have really to ask is we have 4 children. We've been in our house for quite some time. We're not sure when we're going to be able to get the financial resources to upgrade our home. So we're wondering when or what year or what does that look like, or will it happen for us?
Okay. All right, let me just kind of feel into that just a second. So you have 4 children. You're wondering when you'll have the finances to possibly upgrade your home. Upgrade your home. And if that'll happen. All right. The very first thing I feel on that is that it will definitely happen, but it's almost like I see this like marathon instead of a race. So it almost feels like either you'll be doing this a little bit over time as money comes in, like say, the kitchen and then do another room later, that kind of a thing. And I wonder
you
if you
don't
have
see another house.
Oh, well, I was going to get to that. Yes, actually.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you mean when you say upgrade? Do you want to move to another house?
Yeah, we have a 3-bedroom at the moment, and we're sort of just crammed a little bit into the small house. So we're just hoping to get a bigger house.
Okay, I misunderstood you. I thought you meant you were wanting to renovate. So this makes more sense for me because what I did see was what I was going to say is moving to a different house or moving to a different house. So either making this one bigger, but if that's not an option, then I feel like it will be to a different area, a different house. But it also does still feel almost like that marathon. So taking maybe a little bit longer than you anticipated. But I feel like there is actually some reasons behind that. And I feel like part of it is for the children. I know a bigger house would probably be better suited for the children, but it almost feels like there's something that if you move directly to a bigger house that they wouldn't be able to do. And I don't know if you would understand that. It almost feels like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say if we move to a bigger house, it would be because of the children. Is that what you said? I just missed the last part.
Yeah. So what I meant is, I do see the move. I do see a bigger house, right? But it almost feels like it'll take a little bit longer than you might think. And I feel like that is because there's either money going toward the children. Like, do any of them have something that they do that's expensive? It feels like you would be giving that money more to what they're doing instead of moving to a bigger house. Okay. All right. So I do feel like it'll happen. I do not feel like it's this year. It feels like it's almost like, savings. I'm sure you are already saving, but it almost feels like it'll take a while because of putting your efforts into what the children are doing now, if you can understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally
but it almost feels like the house where you live now is, even though it's 3-bedroom, it feels, which is big. It feels cozy though. It feels like a home. It feels like you're not doing without. Would you understand that?
Yeah, that's true. That's
okay. True. So if you can just keep that in your mind's eye, I guess, that it will happen, but it just, might take a little bit longer. But the trade-off is that your children will be benefiting from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And yeah. And I feel like I'm picking up. Have you started doing anything on a spiritual journey yourself?
A little bit. I've sort of started changing a little bit of my lifestyle and feel like I'm just having a little bit of an awakening, if that makes sense. I need to, I'm just changing a lot of things in my life and yeah, it's really weird. It's funny that you say that.
Isn't it funny? Right? I can feel that for you. It feels very much like you have a lot of support actually from the spirit world. Yeah, like I feel like you have a lot of, your guides are stepping in. And I see like a door, and I feel like it was shut, and I feel like this door is opening wide now. And that's just all you have to do. All you have to do is step through it. Right? Would that make sense to you? I mean, I don't know if it makes sense to you, but that's what it feels like to me. That's what it looks like. And it almost feels like it just happens naturally. Right? So I feel like you might dabble in different things and check different things out. Not that you want to be a psychic or a medium, but I feel just kind of getting more in touch with your true self and with your soul. That feels really good for me. And I wonder if you would be open to actually, I don't know. It feels like you maybe are still wanting to hold on to some things, and some of these things feel kind of heavy. And I feel like you might feel like you have an obligation to hold on to them. And I just want to say that it can be really freeing to let them down, right? To put them down, put these things down. It almost feels like you are almost comfortable with them, and you want to hold on to them. You feel like you need to hold on to them, but I wonder what would happen if you just put them down for a while and see how you get along without them. It feels a lot like
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So my dad passed away about, I think, 2019. We had a really strange, he grew me up till I was a teenager, and we had a really strained relationship from then. He got cancer and had a battle with that over the years, and then passed away in 2019. We didn't leave, he didn't leave on good terms. I tried my hardest to reach out and have a connection with him again, and I don't know, I was just sort of shunned a little bit. And I was always very confused why that was. So I never really got closure and wasn't invited to his funeral and stuff like that. So I think that's a big reason why I'm changing the way that I have been living my life. I'm not sure why, but some things just don't make sense to me to continue to live my life the way that I was. Not that it was necessarily bad, it was just maybe I had priorities in the wrong places. And it's just woken me up to thinking, like, life is short, and, I feel like I'm almost traumatized by that experience of not having that closure.
Yes, I understand that. And I'm so sorry we are running out of time, but I do want to tell you that that is absolutely, I feel like what your dad wants is like there to be no feeling like words are left unsaid. And I would love to continue this. If you reach out to me on my Facebook page, Medium Kelly Kristen, I'd love to continue this. I'm so sorry, Jade, we're out of time, but it's been so lovely reading for you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Jade. All right, thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network. and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Soulfully Guided with Carmel Ann. Live from soulfullyguided.com.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Soulfully Guided
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi there, and welcome to another show of Soulfully Guided. I'm your host, Carmel Ann, and I would like to thank A1R, Psychic Radio, and Moonstruck TV. So I'd like you to hang in today and tune into the show for those who are watching live. We are not going into a caller, but I will be talking about something very big and very personal, something, we're talking about wrinkles, worry, the wrinkles that worry and anxiety and stress cause, and I'm going to provide how to unpack it. I'm going to give you a personal example, and I felt that talking about it for 3 minutes and summing up a 17-year problem was not going to be 3 minutes. To the parents out there listening to their children, I'm going to confide about something that not anything extreme or that shouldn't be said on public, but please make your choice whether you want your children to hear about my story. So basically, here we go. Okay. So I offer a meetup group. It's on a Monday, Melbourne, Australia time, 7 p.m. We talk about a lot, not just spiritual, but emotional, mental and all sorts of things going in our life and how spirituality or other things have helped us. I'm the group host and the group organizer, but it is not just my suggestions. We're there to support each other. And we were talking, which made me realize what I'd like to talk about today is wrinkles and worry, and happy wrinkles and worry wrinkles. So for anyone that's listening to the podcast, tune into the replay because you'll see me pulling funny faces. I'm going to show you my wrinkles, right? Most of my life, I don't even know if I can still do the face anymore. Most of my life, I spent like this, frowning. And you'll see, if you see a close-up, you can see all my worry and the difference between my happy years where I smile. So those wrinkles are so much more pleasant than the worry my face was focused on for 20 years. So that's ingrained in my skin, my problems, and even though they're not a major part of my life. So the joys of aging and the joys of life problems. So look, I want to talk about how I faced my nightmare. Okay, so I've got some notes so I don't get off track because this is a huge part of my life. I'm going to confess or say something that I've never openly done before. I feel comfortable to do that on this show. It is about me and I've admitted it. So those who know me would know, but no one else who's seen me publicly would know. Now, I'm going to use this as an example to reduce how to break down your worry, how to make it more digestible, and how to face problems. I'm going to tell you my story as a survivor, so please don't feel sorry for me. I don't. I spent a lot of time feeling sorry for me, and it didn't work. So I'm really happy. Like I said, I come to you with a survivor. You can empathize, you can sympathize with me, but please don't feel sorry for me because I'm really happy and I'm not part of my past anymore. I rose above it, except for the wrinkles that still show on my face in the frown pose I don't do anymore. So when we have, this is something that if you've had a reading with me and you're a warrior or you have a lot of anxiety and stress, it is a technique I offer in my tarot readings or in the support groups that I offer. It's just a taste of what I do. So, people will say, have a positive thought. Now, you're telling me if I've got a huge problem and I'm worried about everything, I'm meant to think of a positive thought every time I think of a negative thought. Doesn't work. My life was falling apart. and no positive thought was going to last long enough to counteract any negative thought. So, look, we get these problems and they feel so big, like a huge rock. And I want you to look at a problem like a whole big thing, right? If we dwell on that, it is so hard to comprehend, to tackle, and to break down. So if you do feel that you're getting caught in worry and there's no resolution, the problem is bigger than you, it's not solvable, there's no way out, please, I want you to know, I'm going to use myself as an example as well. I want you to know a way to break down those problems is not just simply thinking of something positive. Who can that would never work for me, right? So I learned to have this big problem and rationalize it, chip away at it, chip, until they turned into smaller little digestible problems. Smaller things, smaller aspects of the bigger problem. I broke away the aspects of the problem before I solved the problem itself. So they became pebbles, and a pebble size is much easier to solve than a larger rock, like a rock solid, huge problem. For me, so to break down your problems and to solve them, or to be considerate. I want you to be as considerate to yourself when you're going through this and breaking down your problems as you would be to someone else. For example, and this is my confession and this is my reality check. I lost my mum at 16, lost my father at 16 and a half, lost our family home, lost our family, lost everything. I absolutely lost everything, okay? For 17 years, I then became a substance user. There were times that I was a addict, and it didn't start as an addict. It started as my way of dealing with the problem. It was my way of turning off emotionally. I seeked the numbness of my pain, not the high of the substance. I'm very lucky to be able to wear T-shirts that didn't extend that far, that I can't show body parts. But what am I going to do? I lost everything at 16. I'm in a different frame of mind, right? I'm no longer an addict. I don't even consider myself a recovered addict. It's not even part of my story anymore. So I had to break it down. Am I going to punish myself? Because I could have been a neurologist. I could have been an amazing doctor. I had the grades for it while actually having a substance problem. I was at university and I was great at it. Am I going to punish myself for the rest of my life? I am very happy where I am and I've taken responsibility, but I'm not going to hurt myself anymore. I did. Breaking it down into digestible parts. I lost my family. I lost my life. I lost everything at 16. There was nowhere to turn except for substances. I can rationalize it. I can break it down. I can be considerate to myself. I'm not going to spend the next 17 years hating myself for what I did for the last 17 years. And I invite you to do the same, please, on whatever scale your worry or your anxiety is. We're not going to dismiss it or bury it or pretend it's not there. We're not going to just put in a positive thought for every negative thought we have. That's not enough. I broke it down. I rationalized it. I was realistic. I did the best I could with the best I had. And I want you to understand that you too do your own version of that. So please don't be your worst enemy. We've got 2 minutes left, so I will say this. Please, when you find yourself worrying, anxious, or frowning, please rationalize your problems, break them down, chip at it slowly, be kind to yourself. Make it small and digestible portions so you can tackle it bit by bit. These problems don't get solved overnight, and then don't hate yourself for the things you had to do with all you had at the time you had. So please chip away at your issues or your problems or your anxieties bit by bit. We know that if you're a warrior or you're an anxious person or your life seems to be crumbling before you, A positive thought is going to fade so much quicker than a negative thought. So please be kind to yourself, be compassionate, be the person you are to someone else going through a hard time, because you deserve it. And understand that so I still have my worry wrinkles, but my smile is still there. So excuse me for using myself an example, but I didn't know where else to express this for you. So I have turned my life around, and I that's why I'm here as a spiritual mentor, as a tarot reader, and helping people through their problems. I don't have all the answers, but I have my own experience. Please don't dwell and punish yourself for doing the best you can. Break it down into digestible pieces. And that is our show for this week. So thank you for letting me confess my life story to you. Please tune in next week. And thanks for listening and for caring and for not feeling sorry for me. Thank you. Have a great week. It's been a pleasure to be here. And thanks again to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio. Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. And now, Reverend Elliot's Magical Window with Reverend Elliot. Live from magic-works.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Reverend Elliot's Magical Window on A1R, the S1 Radio Network.
Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, Reverend Elliot, coming to you live from the city of New York. And this, well, that was a little feeble, but it's the sound of a deck of cards shuffling, because the magical window is the tarot, the deck of tarot cards, the mysterious cards that people have been using for centuries, if not months, to look into the window of the world and see what's going on. I missed a couple of shows. I had been kind of ill. I had a couple of problems, and I tell you, I don't know. The last show I did, everybody was still kind of afraid of a virus, and now I come back and nobody's afraid of any viruses, and they're afraid of World War III, like it's 1962 again. So who knows? Who knows what's going on? But we're going to know what's going on, because that's what the tarot cards do. And I've looked at the tarot cards, and I've seen some amazing stuff. I can always fall back, though, on one important thing. When asked once, the ancient philosopher was asked, what statement can you give us that is always true under any circumstances? And he said, "This too shall pass." See? Now, there's another one. There's a more modern one, which is almost always wrong in media. The media people, and I love them. I worked among them for years, and please don't delude yourself. The television people, television news people are not interested in news. They're interested in getting ahead in the television news business. So take whatever they tell you with a grain of salt. But they will always say there's no such thing as a free lunch, which is silly, because you can get a free lunch. Somebody just buy you lunch, you know. That was the modern follow-up to the question, what can you say that's true under all circumstances? And the person said there's no such thing as free lunch. Now, what they were referring to was the sign in almost every saloon in the late 1800s into the early 20th century, before the country outlawed saloons for 13 years. Can you believe that? Prohibition of alcohol lasted 13 years. And a lot of bars would advertise free lunch. So you would get a drink, and you would be able to go over to a steam table and pick up brisket or chicken or potatoes and all kinds of food for the cost of a beer. You know. But the fact was that there is no free lunch, because they pay for that with money they get selling you the beer. So the beer would be cheaper if they didn't serve that. So yes, that's what the thing is. There is no such thing as free lunch, not a free lunch, because hey, you know, I have sat down at the table in restaurants in New York City with some of the richest people in New York, and let me tell you, somebody once said, and this is so true. When Scott Fitzgerald said that the rich are different from you and I, the question was put, how so? And somebody said, because they leave the table 2 minutes before the check comes. That's probably why they're so rich. It was infallible. I would be there with people, like I remember being there with a gentleman I won't name, who was complaining all through lunch about the fact that he had to sell off part of his private zoo because the expenses rose. Now, come on, guys. A private zoo, my heart bleeds. But it was a terrible thing to this person. And hey, that was my showbiz years when I was always going around with producers who wanted to show me off so they could raise money. I can tell you a funny story about that. In fact, I will tell you. It's a funny story. There was a really strange, crusty old producer who I worked with. He was a veteran of the Broadway theater and films, and he was just a real character, a real character. And he needed some money from a backer to get a project going. It wasn't much. It was like $50,000, and it was in order to just cover expenses, to get a script written and hire people, and do little things like that. And he wanted me to meet him as the writer of the film and impress him. And at one point, this is so funny, I think, it's in retrospect. At one point, the backer said, "So, young man," which I was at the time, relatively speaking, "what do you think is the best movie made in the last 10 years? And I paused a moment and said, Heaven's Gate. Now, some of you may remember that movie, because he certainly did. He said, "That flop, that was the worst movie ever made." And I said, "Did you see it?" And he said, "No." I said, "Then what are you telling me that it's the worst movie ever made for? I've seen it many times. I think it's a marvelous film. I just, it's just beautiful, and it's got a meat on the bone, and the story is phenomenal." And of course, it was an immense failure at the box office. It got one bad review in the New York Times, and then everybody tried to outdo the bad review with an even worse review. And but I'd recommend seeing it if you wanted it. Look, let me put it this way: it should be #1 on the depressing film festival list, but it's not a bad movie at all. It's just a legendary bomb in the movie theaters. So when the meeting was over, the producer looked at me and said, "Well, my boy, that was an interesting lunch, and that thing about Heaven's Gate, don't ever do that again." So, now, I said it was funny, but it's funny to me. I don't know if it's funny to you, but sometimes it doesn't pay to tell the truth. That's the lesson. That's the first thing you learn in the entertainment business. It doesn't pay to tell the truth. Now, I think that in the end, it always pays to tell the truth. I believe in telling the truth at any price. And I'm not commenting on politics, but there's a lot of people in politics who don't know how to tell the truth. The scary thing is the people who will lie to you when they could just as easily tell the truth. That's a problem. When it's just as easy to tell the truth and people lie to you, then you're in danger. If you run into one of those, and if you can sense that you're dealing with a person like that, run. You know what I'm saying? Go. Beat it. Hit the road. Call a tarot reader like myself and get a reading and see what that's all about. And I have a wonderful recommendation for a book, which of course is not one of my books. This is a book. There was a guy who wrote a book. His name was Scott Peck, a doctor. And he wrote a book that sold millions of copies. It was called The Road Less Traveled. Spent well over 10 years on the bestseller lists. Every Christmas time, it shot to the top of the list. Everybody loved that book. And it was about healing through psychotherapy and things of that sort. And it sold millions, and almost everybody has one. It was the book to read years ago. After that, he wrote another book that did not sell well at all. That is the one you should read. That is about evil. Okay, you're going to hear that word a lot now because there's a lot of people trying to whip up war fever. And if you notice that every single time a country goes to war, the other people are evil. And that's a word not to be bandied about lightly. But this book is called People of the Lie, because lying is a hallmark of evil. People of the Lie. You can get it very inexpensively through places like thrift books and maybe even Amazon or eBay, definitely, I'm sure. But it's called People of the Lie, and it deserves to be read because we're surrounded by people like that. It's about the chances of healing evil. Can it be healed? Can it be redeemed? Now, I'll tell you right out, a lot of people have a problem with that book because at one point in the book, Peck attends an exorcism, and he writes about the exorcism, and people think, well, that's just New Age nuttiness. No. Even if you don't believe in, Reagan being occupied by Pazuzu, You Exorcist fans know what I'm talking about. You can be possessed by evil. Did you ever get the feeling that, look, that something wrong was going on, that a person you were talking to wasn't quite human? You know, maybe you contacted an evil person. We have radar for that. I was once sitting in a restaurant talking to having a meal with a friend of mine. My back was to the door, and there's a woman who I won't identify. We'll just call her Jane. And I'm talking to this guy who knew who I was talking about, and I said, "Did Jane just walk into this room?" Because I felt it. Man, I felt it. And he said, "Yes." "How did you know? You're not even looking." I said, "I felt it. I knew it." This was, I can't even begin to describe this person, but we're going to be hearing an awful lot of demonization of people in the news now. And this person is evil, and that person is evil, and this person's a traitor, and this person has said treasonous remarks. By the way, treason is a very, very, very well-defined crime in the Constitution, and there has not been anyone even charged with treason since the end of World War II. The only people ever charged with treason after World War II were charged for things they did in World War II, because in America there is no crime of treason unless you unless you aid an enemy, and an enemy is described as a nation in a declaration of war. The only other way you can be charged with treason is by open rebellion with war, by waging war. Not even, I mean, it's First Amendment speech to call for the violent overthrow of the government. You just can't say, "Meet me here Thursday and let's do it." That's a whole different ballgame. But there's going to be an awful lot of talk about evil because they want to get you angry and scared. I mean, you just spent the last 2 years people being scared, people scaring you. And we're still here, right, folks? We're still here. So I want you to keep that in mind. And I mean, I tell people about Unmasking Fear, which is a book that I wrote the introductions to. It's a book from 1919, for goodness sake. So, people don't change in that sense. And it's about how institutions, shall we say, use fear to control people. So keep that in mind. I mean, like I know we're dealing with very what's not scary time, uncertain times, and money is shrinking. A lot of people are out of work. A lot of people can't pay the rent. Inflation is near 8% now. And I say I've got a lot of nice products at my website, mojoacademy.org. I think there's things there that'll help you, but please, it's not a priority. Don't buy anything from me. This is not the time to buy anything from me. This is the time to concentrate on surviving and getting food on the table and gas in the car. Need I tell you about the gasoline? So don't, I'm not doing any sales pitches is what I'm saying. I just say it's there if you want it at mojoacademy.org, but I would advise you to put your money elsewhere right now. But People of the Lie is a very important book on the nature of evil. I'm looking at books on my shelf right now about evil. So keep that in mind, because you're going to hear an awful lot about this person is evil and that person is evil, and you should hate that evil person. And I want you to educate yourself with a marvelous book called, again, People of the Lie. Now, you understand that's why the book is called that, is that because evil people will lie to you even when they could just as easily tell you the truth. Now, there are many people that you've encountered in your life who did that. People who could just as easily have told the truth, but they lied. And they cause great troubles in our lives. And that's what tarot reading and magic can help you with. That's me shuffling the cards again. We're going to get into the readings now. I just want to let you know that if you can't get through tonight because I have such a limited amount of time, or if you don't want to get through because you don't want to speak about your personal life in front of a few million people, if you want to contact me off the air, asktarot@earthlink.net is the email, my old-time email, Earthlink, back when I had a steam-powered computer. AskTarot, asktarot@earthlink.net. And you can send me a question. I'll be happy to give you a free mini reading. That's my gift to you as a listening member of the listening audience of Ask One Radio. And the viewing audience, hint, hint, that's like I keep dropping hints, it's coming. You can't fight progress. You just can't. You can't. So I'm not going to. I'm going to go with the flow, baby. But I'm still at heart a radio guy. You'll see. When you see the show, you'll see what I mean. So now we've got all the business out of the way. Contact me at asktarot@earthlink.net. My website is magic-works.com, and I spell that magic-works.com. magic-works.com. There's 100 and some odd pages there of wonderful information there, and there's no premium content, folks. It's all free. It's all free. A couple of interesting movies there to see, too. Now we're going to ring the bell, as I do every week. We're going to ring a bell 3 times to declare sacred space. And just to repeat an old joke, when people say, why do you not ring it 4 times? I say, I tried that once, and a bellboy showed up. Took my suitcase and left. Still haven't seen it. And now we'll pull back the curtain on the magical window for Courtney in Riverbank, California. Hi, Courtney. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi.
Hi, how are you tonight, Courtney?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I missed a couple of shows with a little bit of a stomach bug of some sort, but I'm back. What can we look at tonight?
Just anything general.
Okay, so nothing interesting in particular that you're interested in?
If you can go into mediumship, I don't know, your practices.
I give it a try. There's a few cards in the deck that I look for when somebody asks me to do that. Obviously, the Death card is one of them. The other would be the High Priestess, because the High Priestess sees behind the veil, so the veil being that which separates this world from the next. And let's see, there's the Judgment card, which shows people rising from the grave. So if you wish to do that, I'll pull a few cards and see if I get a message. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, I do have some of the cards here that I usually get. I don't have one of those cards that I mentioned. Are you interested in looking at a man, an older man?
Yes, actually. That's crazy.
Yeah, because that's the first card I got, which is the King of Cups. It's so the king, it symbolizes an adult male, an older male. And the next card I have is the Nine of Swords, which indicates great sorrow and sadness. And that's what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now the next card is one that I'm going to assume that this is going to be a legit reading, and one of those other cards that I mentioned will turn up. I'm sorry, I just paused because right as I said that, a cool breeze just blew across the side of